listening to Everyday Engineering, the City of Madison's engineering podcast where we talk about infrastructure. Complex topics explained simply, from the water that flows down your drain to the rain and snow that drains into the lakes. By way the curbs and streets we design. City engineering touches your life in so many ways. Explained right now in Everyday Engineering. Two major reconstruction projects are kicking off this winter springish, and you may have heard of them. Pleasant View Road on the city's west side and Atwood Avenue on the city's east side. Here to break down what you need to know, how it impacts not just the people living or owning property or businesses, is project manager in the engineering division, engineer Andy Zwieg, joining. Thanks, Andy, for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
You got your work cut out for you.
It'll be a busy summer.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when you mentioned this and kind of brought this to my attention, I mean, I kind of cross with engineers when it's time to bring the public in. And I thought, oh my gosh, Atwood is this year. And then on top of it, you have Pleasant View Road. So I guess to kick off our conversation before we start, just kind of briefly, introduce yourself. Tell whoever's listening, a little bit of what you do for the city as a streets designer.
Yeah, my name is Andy Zwieg. I work for engineering, specifically in streets and paths section, and I'm a project manager and project engineer for minor and major reconstruction projects in the city.
So what does that mean?
So that means we get a street assigned to us that's slated for reconstruction. It could be in a year, it could be in 5 years. So for Pleasant View and Atwood, those designs started in 2017.
So you got those assignments in 2017?
Yes. So we've been, and
wow.
It's a big team of people. I'm the City of Madison project manager.
Right.
On that. So these big ones take a lot of time to plan and design.
Yes. What sort of projects have you done maybe in the past so that people are familiar with you that they may have known?
So I did Buckeye Road.
East side.
East side. I did East Johnson Street.
East Johnson Street. Most people should. That's central, right?
Yes. I did most of all the reconstructions in the Sunset Neighborhood Village.
Where's that?
That's just west of downtown off of Mineral Point.
Okay. Just trying to give people some perspective if they don't know exactly where it is.
Yeah, so I did recently all the Cedar Street reconstructs. That's south with the SSM clinic. So did all those. I've done some far northeast projects in Ronald Reagan, John Wall Drive, Manufacturers Drive. Those are all industrial areas.
So along a lot.
Yes.
Yes. You've been very busy. But these projects, where do they kind of like in size, I guess, in complexity? They're up there, aren't they?
Yeah, Atwood's a mile. That's a long way for a urban area.
What do you do typically?
You would count them more in blocks.
Sure.
Where they would be a quarter mile.
Right.
Or half a mile. But Atwood's a mile. That's a long way.
Wow. And then Pleasant View Road.
Pleasant View Road is over a mile.
Over a mile?
Yep.
So you have two?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Andy. Okay, so let's get into each of these. We're going to give Pleasant View Road its time to shine, and then we'll give Atwood its time to shine in our conversation. So what makes these two projects different? So let's start with Pleasant View Road. And for anybody not familiar, so the road's almost to Middleton, right? And it's the far side behind Greenway Station-ish, going north and south, right?
Yes.
If you're visualizing generally.
Yes.
What makes this project different?
So that...
And what's going to go on there? Talk us through it.
Road parallels the Beltline. And then also Pleasant View Road kind of connects Middleton and Verona.
Yes.
But Madison is a big chunk in the middle. So previous projects were Pleasant View Road, County M from Verona to Junction. And then there's another portion that goes farther north to Middleton. So this section of reconstruct is just north of Old Sauk Road to
Yeah.
Highway 14. And it's a partnership with Middleton. Middleton has a little bit more of the road than Madison, and it's also partnered with the DOT. You also have the town of Middleton, which has some involvement. So there, and then we have a design consultant. So we have all of those cooks that have worked on the project over the last 6 years.
Yes, and it's well traveled.
Yeah, so Pleasant View Road right now, it's 2 lanes in that section. There's no curb, there's no pedestrian, there's no bike facilities. So we'll be going from 2 lanes, what we call rural, which has ditches, to 4-lane urban,
Sure.
curb, bike path, some sidewalk, median, turn lanes,
Like a real road.
like a real road.
A real road that has safety features to keep everybody. Because how busy is the road? Have we noticed? Or I'm sure we've looked into how busy and travel.
Yeah, that
right?
is-
That's
all
part
that
of the process.
all that traffic data was discussed, 2017, 2018, 2019 when we went to the public with roundabouts versus
Sure.
signals.
Sure.
From there, the public, so we'll be installing 3 roundabouts
Okay.
on the project, and it'll have lighting, storm sewer, water main upgrades, sanitary sewer. Middleton has a lot of stuff going on. They have roof structures. They have a 20-foot rock cut. They have
It's a rock cut.
so they're going to cut the road down 20 feet. So they
And-
got to cut through all the rock.
I mean, is that a big deal for
Yeah,
somebody
they'll-
who doesn't know?
Yeah, they'll have to blast it out most
Okay.
likely.
Okay.
With blasting material.
Yes.
And then they'll be putting a nice pedestrian bridge over the road in Middleton. Middleton also has a golf course that they're impacting.
Yep.
There's a quarry. Middleton has a lot of stuff going on in
Sure.
that section.
So if somebody is using it now, and you said how busy is this road?
It's a major route
Okay.
between Middleton and Verona, and then all of the development that's going on
Right.
in Madison in that area.
Yes. So quite busy. And if somebody's using it now and then they use it after it's done, what's the biggest change that they'll experience?
The biggest change will be sight distance. So that is when you're driving your car, what can you see? What can you see in front of you? What can you see to your left, to your right? We'll be opening the road up. Traffic will be separated. You won't see, the oncoming traffic will be on the other side of the road with a median.
Okay.
You'll be seeing street lighting, driving through roundabouts. You'll see more pedestrians and bikes because there's paths and crossings
Yep.
there. You'll see new tree plantings afterward. So that's what you see when it's done.
Why did we do this project? What was the need there?
So that it's a big safety concern. Right now, there's steep hills, poor sight distance. It's hard to see when you're driving.
Sure.
There's no street lights. And those areas are becoming more developed over there. And we need to create safer routes between Madison, Middleton, and Verona.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm excited to see it kind of moving forward, and it sounds like you seem pretty even keel about it.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, you're quite used to it. You're quite familiar with Pleasant View Road. Okay, it's time for Atwood. Atwood Avenue, honestly, like where to begin. Everybody knows where Atwood is on the city's east side. It has so much activity. I mean, most people, you can say Atwood, and they're like, I know exactly where that is in Madison. For most Madisonians. If you're not a Madisonian and you have no idea where Atwood is, it is host to a lot of Madison's most iconic and notable restaurants. Residents love to live by it, bike on it, walk. It can be a little cramped, but it doesn't deter me. I love Atwood. I love that area and the food and the life and the vibrantness of it. So tell us about Atwood.
So Atwood hugs Lake Monona.
Yes.
It's got the section of reconstruction is Cottage Grove Road to Fair Oaks Road.
Okay.
That section was new pavement was in the 1980s.
So it's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The road is, 4 lanes there, very tight,
It's very tight.
small, sidewalks, no bike facilities. You have all brick gardens, large destination in this part of the state. You have all brick park,
Yeah.
boat access, beer garden,
Yeah.
activities, sledding hill. Then you have all brick softball fields, party space. There's another boat launch over there.
Yes.
You have City of Monona that hugs it too, so they're involved with the project.
Okay, you're really putting it into perspective now.
You have WISDOT that is involved. You have our design consultant is involved. You have large oak trees that are over 200 years old
Yes.
that are around the project.
Yeah. Wow. So you said Cottage Grove Road to Fair Oaks.
Yes.
You said last time we did in the 80s.
Yes.
Sort of disruptions. I mean, I hear you now, there's so many people. So many people. Everything you just said, I'm thinking lake activity alone, those are 2 of the most busy boat launches in the city.
They are.
Am I giving you anxiety telling you this? I think
We've talked about it a lot over the
know.
last 6 years.
there is nothing you can't handle, Andy. I know it. But there's all of the boat. I mean, it's just such a big bite. But I know, if anyone's going to do it, I know. You are I love how you take such a calm approach to all of your complex projects. And I think that the city's truly going to benefit, especially with you on this project. So you have all the boat activity. That boat activity is already hard enough to bring a boat on that cramped with people biking and trying to turn in or eat, no matter what side.
Yeah.
And then all the softball leagues. That's a lot of people.
And we didn't mention the people that live on Atwood. A lot of people live on
Yes,
Atwood.
a lot of people live on Atwood.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. What makes Atwood different or special?
Atwood will be the biggest street transformation project in my career up until now.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Because what it's going to look like when it's done is exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to have specific bike paths, better connections to all brick park, all brick softball fields, all brick gardens, easier, safer pedestrian crossings between the lake and the gardens. It's going to have separated pedestrian facilities for certain areas. It's going to have a new pedestrian bridge over the Starkweather Creek. It's going to have improved sight distance. I talked about that with Pleasant View. That's a very important engineering term. It's important that driver visibility improve so they can make better decisions with pedestrians and bikes. It's a major metro route, so there'll be improved bus stops, longer bus stops, better, some improved parking areas, the improved sledding conditions in the winter in the park. Just a better traffic signal at Walter. Walter's the major intersection on that street, and that's a lot of people go from Atwood to Walter to Milwaukee Street or Fair Oaks.
Sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. We've dug into both of these. Public engagement. I know you said it started. It started a while ago, right? But we still have where are we in the process for each of them, and then when does construction start?
So for Pleasant View Road, construction begins at the end of February 2023.
Okay.
At the same time, we have a public meeting. That one's scheduled. We're working on notifying the public right now.
Sure.
Atwood also starts at the end of February 2023.
Okay.
We are working on setting up a public meeting around the same time, and we'll mail out to residents soon.
Yes. Check the websites too, the project pages. We will keep you totally posted on both of those.
Yes.
Yes.
All Big Gardens will be heavily involved with weekly construction meetings and attending it's the most important place that I've impacted with the project.
Yes.
Pleasant View Road, we expect that to be done June of 24.
Yeah, when are we going to be done with this, Andy?
So we're going to do a lot of work in Pleasant View Road in 2023, but most likely we won't be able to get it done, especially if winter creeps in early in the fall.
Yeah.
Atwood, we're going to work to get Atwood done in 2023.
So, okay. So we're starting, and hopefully by winter, we'll have it wrapped up.
Yes. Yes.
Good luck, Andy.
Well, thank you.
You got this. This is good.
We're looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, we've got this. So, you've done so much work up to this point. A lot of people don't realize how much work happens before they start seeing the orange cones out there and the construction crews and everything like that. So, just know that there's been, obviously, if you've been listening to this podcast episode, so much pre-planning, so much coordination, and just, admirable professionalism from you, Andy. I'm excited to see it happen. I'm excited to use the new paths, as is everybody when the construction is finished. So, yay. You'll hear more from us.
Yes.
Yeah, stay connected on the project pages, right? Anything else I didn't ask you that you want to make sure you mention?
No, everyone gets get through construction.
Yes.
And we'll have nice new streets to use next year.
And patience is a wonderful thing for all involved.
It is.
Yes. Thank you, Andy, so much. If anyone listening to this has any more questions about this topic or either of these topics, click over to the City of Madison Engineering website, cityofmadison.com/engineering. There's a projects tab. You can find Pleasant View Road and the Atwood Avenue pages. Stay connected. Sign up for the email updates. We keep them posted. Andy keeps them updated, and I work with him on the pages. And yes, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us because, as always, we are a resource for you every day in engineering.